Hey guys, I want to go over a little bit of this with you on this system of equations. The graphing part, you have three options. And everybody in our class knows how to graph. Use Desmos to graph the equation. It'll draw you a picture. Of course, it'll draw you a line. And when it draws the line, you're interested in where it intersects at. If the line intersects, that's your solution. Wherever those lines come together at, that's your solution. If the lines don't intersect, then they're parallel. So there's no solution. Okay? If you see one line, but you know you've graphed two of them, then you know that the two lines are running on top of each other and they're infinite, meaning that all the solutions are going to be the same. So you have three options when you're dealing with systems of equations. Either there'll be one solution, which is what we're looking for, and that's where they intersect, and those coordinates that's on that intersect is the answer that you're looking for. There will be no solution, which means they're parallel. You guys have all had linear equations where y equals mx plus b. M is slope. If the slope is the same, then the lines are parallel and they won't have an intersection. So that would be no solution. If the lines appear to be running on top of each other, or if your slopes, the equation is identical, then of course you're going to have the same two lines running on top of each other, and that means you have an infinite solution. Now that's one method that'll solve the equations for you, graphing. Use Desmos to graph with and you'll be fine. The other two methods are a little more difficult, and it requires you to do some math. It requires you to do some solutions. So the first one I'm going to show you is right here is the elimination method. And I've got a little example. All of my notes have examples. So if you have two equations, and notice that these have the equation of negative 4x minus 2y equals negative 12, and then underneath it's 4x plus 8y equals negative 24. This is where you eliminate an answer, or you eliminate a variable such as x. If you combine negative 4x and positive 4x, that cancels out. That equals 0. Okay? So then you go ahead and combine the rest of your equation. 6y, that's 8 minus 2, gives you 6. Negative 12 minus 24 is negative 36. So now you've got the basic simple one-step equation, 6y equals negative 36. Divide that by 6, and y has to be a value of negative 6. All right, then you take the negative 6 and you replace y on one of these equations. Here I replaced y. Right here, I replaced the value of y with the negative 6 on that top equation. I went through my steps after I took negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. Negative 4x plus 12 equals negative 12. I transfer my 12 over, becomes negative. So now I've got negative 4x is negative 24. Simple one-step equation, divide it by negative 4, and x is 6. So now your answer becomes x is 6, y is negative 6. That is the intersection of those lines. Okay, so that's the second method that you'll have to look at. Your third method is about as simple, right? You got 2x minus 3y, and you've got y equals x minus 1. Well, if you think about it, it's telling you right here that y is x minus 1. So I want you to take this y, excuse me for my finger movements, this y right there, take it out of the equation and replace it with x minus 1, which is what I've done over here, x minus 1. Then I go ahead and use my distributive method, negative 3 times x, and negative 3x, negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Now I've got